Shabbat Shalom, listeners. This is Promoter Goddess coming at you. How you doing? We've been breaking down a lot of light codes and dark energy, transmuting that dark energy into light codes. It's our duty, it's our job as children of the light, children of the sun. Let there be light, let there be light, let there be light. I can't express that enough. I hope you're doing well. I hope you're feeling good. Know that whatever's going on around you, I could you just focus on this sentence here, that you are unconditionally loved. Yes, you are. For all eternity. Do you believe it? Walk in it, live in it, breathe in it. You are full of life, and life requires light. You're an extension of the atoms, blocking out any negative energy. And I'm happy to be here speaking with you about it. Hallelujah. So there's a plethora of things that I want to discuss. I did take some notes, so I might start showing my face, but I will do it on a more protected platform. I do have a Patreon channel, so I probably am going to do that over there, because you'll actually have to subscribe or pay to be there. So I know that none of my enemies will want to pay for that, but just true followers and listeners like yourself. So that's what's up. Hallelujah. I might not even go deep into the things that all the downloads that I'm picking up recently and over time. But I do want to mention a few things to you. So there's a plethora of things going on in the world. You are not of the world, listeners. You are outside of the world. That you must be reminded to come out of the world. Yes. I'll break it down like this. People in the world, they sleep with everybody. They have sex with many. They are negligent. They do not care about whom they're sleeping with. It's actually become a fashion faux pas of just sleeping around and not indulging in the emotional connections, the spiritual connection, and the energetic exchange of actual intercourse. That mentality has been developed through Satan. That's his MO. As we get a nice little beep and another one. You must remember that he fell from earth. He was kicked out, of the Shamayim, heaven, with 200 fallen angels that followed him, because he wanted everybody to look at him and how fabulous he was and things like that. But he didn't create himself. He got so much in his ego and pride. And you all can do your own research and follow these notions. You don't have to take my word for it. You can do your own research. Hallelujah. But no, even with the research purposes of platforms, information is limited. In fact, all the original books are inside of a place that has no recollection to even celebrating these light codes, because they have their own doctrination and religion. A lot of the books are deep somewhere in the cathedral of Italy. So Catholics, the priests over there, have a lot of these books that they're hiding, but that's neither here nor there. The specimen of that which is exuberantly in the DNA cataclysmic era of light codes in the children of light are actually within the children of light. So no matter how many archaeologists go to places like Egypt or Jerusalem and find old artifacts and show them to be a new finding, this is the Most High's earth. He has already known that artifact was there and it was hidden for a purpose, and he's just giving them something to do. So it's old news that they're trying to make refreshed as new news. Even I saw a documentary regarding the great Cleopatra. And so many archaeologists saw this land that looked desolate and empty to them. That's why we should never judge a book by its cover. And they neglected it and derailed it as ill and void. But however, there was a female archaeologist that went there. And females are not as linear as men. They have a circulatory vibrational system, electromagnetic field, that moves in curves as opposed to straight lines like our beautiful specimen of male components. So she was actually able to pick up on the vibrational fields that there was a great pharaoh and many great individuals, light beings, were buried there. In fact, it was discovered as it was a royal burial ground for the royals. Cleopatra built a 25 deep tunnel into the ground that led to a temple to give gratitude and thankfulness to Isis. And I mean, it was just astounding information. She also built a 35-foot tunnel into the ground for her and her lover to be buried. And even the meticulous ways of going into a tunnel like this, it was wedged edges within the rock of the tunnel, 25 feet long for one section, which was dedicated to Isis. And I want to remind you all that those that are into numbers and science and mathematics and sacred geometry, anytime there's a double number, a triple number, or even any number, you duplicate it by its own resolution and always returns to one solid number. So 25 feet down into the ground, we would separate the two and add it plus the 5, and we would get the number 7. And 7 is one of the most used coded numbers for the Most High. It's very sacred. Know that the Most High gave birth to light beings who are kings and priests, and the Egyptian lineage extends from the father of Abraham, his son Ishmael, who gave birth with Hagar, who is Egyptian, to a plethora of royal kings and priests. And the same, his second child, which would be the firstborn child of the Hebrew Israelite tribe, is Yitzhak, which is Isaac. And he would give birth to many kings and queens and priests on his lineage path. And as I do more research, listeners, there is some type of tension between actual Jerusalem and Egypt. And I really, out of respect of the original names, I really would like to call them their original names, which is YAHUSHA, the Paleo-Hebrew name, and Mitzrayim, the real name for Egypt. Because Egypt, the word itself means bondage, but Mitzrayim means the land. So that's the original name of the land. However, it is noted, there's so many things I want to talk about. It is noted that at a time, the Hebrews migrated to Mitzrayim, very close neighbors. So when you look at the big picture of this, Jerusalem and Mitzrayim, YAHUSHA in Egypt, they are brothers. They are a family. They're just separated at birth. Right? So when disobedience fell upon the Hebrews, they became enslaved by their brother, their older brother, I'll say, not bigger, but older brother lineage. Though they all worked together to build the land and conduct a certain currency, they all worked together under one roof. But they became enemies, and these things that I speak of became ill and void and forgotten. One group focused just on being Egyptian, and the another group focused on being Hebrew. And it got to a point where they actually hated each other because of all the abuse. But again, the Most High will send someone to beat you down, and it's always going to be for his greatest desire.
With all the advantages and opportunities,
so when we disobey the Most High, he will send an oppressor. That's what I'm saying. But too much wickedness had happened at the hand of Mitzrayim against the children of Yasharal. And so Another light being was sent to break a cycle, break a toxic cycle, which would be the sovereign we know is Moshe, Paleo Hebrew name. His real name is Moses. Moses was sent, another child of light, to break a toxic dark cycle. And with the power of the Most High and his faith and trust in the Most High, this was able to be activated, parting the Red Sea and separating the darkness from the light, as it had to happen. And we're glad and very grateful it happened, because we could see all the miraculous activations the Most High brought onto the earth at those who were in disposition with him and his order. Hallelujah. But I'm bringing this up because I would love, in fact, let there be light, that Jerusalem, Hebrews, Jews, stop being angry with Egyptians, Mitzrayim. And those that don't know if you're Egyptian or Hebrew, or you are both like me, I don't want you to pick a side, because all of them are under the umbrella of the Most High, children of light. That's why they had superpower gifts, superpower light gifts, telepathy, the mastering of frequencies, the mastering of sound, the mastering of sacred geometry, mathematics, and science, the mastering of building an entire empire and conglomerates to the mountain. They were masters of understanding the earth. They were masters of using the elements of the earth. There was not all this oversaturation of devices and chemical warfare that's in our food, our products, our clothes, and everything that we touch, smell, eat, and try to enact on living here on the earth. So I'm sending that frequency out. There needs to be pure studying, knowledge, and wisdom, and forgiveness, because the same story repeats itself. Remember, everything is a cycle, but you could either break it and create a new cycle of life, flower of life, through light, or you can continue a toxic cycle by living in your south node, your shadow side, and continue to do wickedness and evil, which those will choose to do because they just are bound to demonic tactics, but I like there to be forgiveness, and I like there to be an understanding that those are our brothers and sisters that we could never be separated from, nor should we want to. So I'm here to say forgiveness is key in this family quarrel. Hallelujah. With that being said, the same cycle repeated itself with the Europeans now enslaving Hebrews. And I will take this as far as, because there was an evolutional shift. So Egypt wasn't the reign of all things anymore, though its wisdom and knowledge will always be protected, no matter how many archaeologists want to go over there and dig up things. To be quite honest, it's interesting that these archaeologists are not Egyptian. They are not of a royal bloodline, and they feel confident to go inside tombs and touch things and whatnot. And they have nothing to do with anything that is over there. And they will try to embrace it as their own belief system. And it's dangerous for people who want to venture off into things that don't have anything to do with them, because there's a sacred seal there on all things that protects what's hidden in plain sight. I also question their dynamics and diameters of understanding the lift of the sun and its heat waves and whatnot. The sun is such a bright, benevolent energy. If you just go out sun tanning for too long, you damage your skin. So how could any device that man ever created have any connotation or wisdom about how hot the sun is, what's on the sun, etc. You can never get close to the sun. So that's all a lie. And there's no planets, there's portals. There are no planets, it's portals. And the earth is flat, not round. We're inside of a dome. And that dome is the Shamayim, which you all call heaven. And beyond it, there's